sure I check them out and try to help as much as possible. Then first, so yet again, guys, my name is Kuke. So most of you guys know me as Cap Fresh. Yeah, so obviously I'm the founder of Billionaire Developers. I'm a Microsoft Student Ambassador. I'm a Google Developer Student Club lead for South Africa as well, as well as a software engineer, web developer, a game developer as well. But I am not rolling solo. I've got an amazing team rolling with me today. And yeah, Rishabh, are you there?
Oh yeah, I am.
Awesome,
So hey
awesome. And you can
everyone,
kindly
thank you
introduce yourself.
so much for joining.
Okay, cool. So you said you already
All right.
introduced yourself. So
Uh-huh. But let me do
yeah,
it once again so that people who just joined have a little idea about me. So hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. This is Rishabh Singh. I'm the founder and mentor at Basecamp, and we are, what I'm basically trying to do. I love, I love coding. I love building stuff. I love, you know, making people bringing people together and doing a lot of amazing things, just like this session. So make sure to always be a part of the community. Make sure to always have fun while building stuff. Make sure to put it on your portfolio, show off stuff. Don't be ashamed of showing off stuff you are building. Another thing is like we have MLH in it coming next week. Wow. So what is the better way to end this month with with some really amazing hacking? So yeah, make sure to join us at MLH in it. Make sure to join our Discord. Make sure to join our WhatsApp group if you can, so that you can stay in touch with us, because this is not the end. We are just getting started with a lot and lot of amazing events. So yeah, you don't want to miss miss the opportunity. So yeah, stay in touch, and I'll drop all the links in the chat box. So yeah, have a look. Thank you so much, and Kogit, so let's get forward.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And last but not least, we have a new member. Someone that's joining us pretty recently in the coding development. Muddy Major, you can kindly introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Madime Chamamsika. I'm from South Africa. Be surprised about this. Currently doing my honors in computer sciences this year. Worked with a couple of organizations in both KZN and Gauteng. Currently, software. I'm currently working with on a research project with a team from the UK on an ML project. So today I'm just here to show you my UX, UI UX skills, man, and hopefully you guys get to follow along. You get to implement this in your own portfolios or whatever project you're working on, and hopefully it'll expand, the UI capabilities that you already have. So let me say, without taking further ado, let's just get started, everyone. So we're just going to get started with the HTML. Rishabh will do the deployment, and from there we'll take it from there. So what we are building today, we're actually building a Parallax website. So Koketu, can you just allow me to share that?
Yeah, I think Rishabh is sharing the screen. Yeah, guys, and also please don't forget, drop us in the comments in the chat section. Just tell us where you guys from, where you guys joining us from. It would be really awesome for us to actually know where you guys are joining us for the live session. For those of you who are concerned, yes, the session will be recorded, and it will be also sent out to you once obviously the whole session is done. So right, so yet again, guys, as I said, please 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 make sure that your mics are turned off. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chats. I'll definitely look out for them. And without further ado, we can jump straight into the coding. So, Rishabh, I think Madimecha wants to share his screen. Okay, so we've got someone that's got their hand up.
Oh sure, go ahead. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Hi. Actually, I had a doubt. So,
Okay.
may I know where is the chat section? Because I guess I am just lost.
So you can't access the chat section,
Well,
I think.
uh-huh. Well, there is a caveat that chat section is not accessible to everyone joining in.
Oh yeah.
So you may not be able to access it if it's not visible for you. You may not be able to access it. So sorry for
Oh,
that.
no problem. Yeah, thank you so much.
No, yeah. Yeah, and also all the resources or basically all the links we are going to mention, in this particular section, it will be all sent to you. We will all send those links to you through email or the WhatsApp group or through Discord. So yeah, don't worry, you're not going to lose anything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, because are you still able to are you still on the share thing?
Yeah, I
Because
can
I'm
actually see you. Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, we can go ahead.
okay. So, okay. Let me just. Can you see the files that I've created, like that I created? Let me just share my screen. Oh, okay. Wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Oh yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Great. That's awesome. I just need. Okay, that's great. So let's get started. So, like I said, today we are building a Parallax website. But before we begin, I'm just gonna show you, what basically a parallax is, because as much as one can explain it, sometimes in UI you need to see some of this element. Basically, a parallax is a scrolling technique in computer graphics where the background images actually move past a camera more slowly, creating some more sort of a 2D depth within the image. But let me just share this. I wish there was a quicker shortcut to switch between. So let me just share my browser right now. Okay. So this is a Parallax website. Basically, what happens with the Parallax website is that you have elements moving in some way on top of images, but when you scroll, they happen like they create this 2D effect depth within the image. So as you can see, as we scroll down, you have all this text, all these elements moving on top of other images, but the images themselves are actually stationary in the background, if that's the best explanation. So we're basically going to be creating this effect, and we're going to start off with our text, and we're going to start off with placing the text, and then we will place the images while we are styling our HTML. So let's set up our project structure in let me just share this. Okay, let's bring that up. So we're just going to, let me just say, file save as. Okay, let me just save the files so that I can get them later on in a folder type. Okay, So we're just going to name the file index.html. Okay. Okay, great. And then we need to set up our file structure. Okay, let me just go here. So the file structure that we need to set up from the beginning is we need to set up our CSS folder, our images folder, and on this one we will be doing the JavaScript into the HTML code. But if you are big on file management and all those, you can actually take it out and put it into a separate folder. That is still pretty cool if you are comfortable with that. So for those that cannot see, what I'm actually doing is, let me just share my file explorer with you guys. Okay. Okay, so what I'm essentially doing is I'm setting up my file structure, and then I will import this folder into VS Code so that we can start working on it. I just wanted to see just so that everybody knows how we set up the file structures and everything, and then we're just going to name these files images, and then we've got that. And then once we have that, we can head over to our VS Code. So in VS Code, I'm just going to open up a folder. Oh, God damn it. So I'm just going to open up this folder that we just created with all the files and folders in it so that we can start working on it. Okay, I cannot seem to. Okay, let's do this. Open folders and open. Okay. So my VS Code has some bit of intelligence, some intelligence that I installed in it. So if I do something and you didn't see how I do it, it's probably that. So just ask about that, and I'll just clear it up. So we're working with HTML5. So basically, I want to start us off with HTML, setting that up. As you can see here, there's our file structure. We have our CSS, we have our images in here. We're gonna put those images.
Hey, I will recommend if you could just zoom your screen a little bit. You can use the command plus, command and plus, which will basically yes, a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, this will do.
Okay,
Perfect.
so CSS images index.html. So we're going to be doing most of our files on the index. I mean, most of our coding on the index.html. This is the file that we're going to work with. We're going to do our JavaScript here at the bottom. I'll explain why we do.
Much better.
So I'll explain why we do JavaScript at the bottom of the page. So basically, if I get that out of the way, the reason we have JavaScript at the bottom of like a HTML index file is because the browser, other than when you're using IDEs or something or another high-level languages, the browser actually uses sort of reads files from bottom going up. So that's why we have the JavaScript at the bottom of the code. So let's get started with, I hope everybody's getting that. So we're going to be switching between the browser and we're going to be switching between the browser and the VS Code. So let's get started with the declaration and everything. And if you're not following this, what I'm going to be coding now is just the declaration of HTML. So if you are able to follow along or you need any clarification on that, so just say so and we'll be able to clarify, or if you missed anything. This is the HTML tag. The HTML tag contains everything. It's just it's actually the primary HTML tag within HTML. And our head structure, this is where we keep links to our CSS file, the title of our pages and everything goes in here. And we're just going to declare a couple of things that we need for HTML5. Basically, it just comes mandatory with it. And so we do the meta viewport, initial scale, 1.0, and we've got that. So we do our meta description, but we may or may not do that. And if you actually do, some fun fact about it is that this is actually the part where most of search engine optimization is done. If that's the case, okay, so we've got that out the way. So now we're just going to pass our title, and since we're not going to be moving between too many let me say HTML files or pages, we're just going to have it as a Parallax website demo. You can name it anything you want, you can do anything you want with it, just about you. And then what we need to do actually right now is I'm just going to go into the CSS folder. I'm just going to create a style.css file. Style.css file. So basically, this is the file that we'll do our most of styling. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because right now I want to link it here actually. So, oh hell no. So let me just, okay. So I'm going to link it here. Okay, href. So href is just the way of saying go to this link, go to this folder, and find our style sheet, and we are good to go. Okay. So we are good to go. So now that we have everything linked, these are just the basic declarations that we need for our HTML file and everything. And just so if you're interested, some of the extensions that I'm running here are actually just code cleaners and everything, just to optimize your coding. So now that we have our structures all set up, our folders, our HTML structures, we're now going to get into the structure of the first image as well as the first paragraph that will form the parallax effect. So by what I mean about that is, so if I switch between, let me just switch between these two so that you can follow what we are doing now. Let me go to the browser. So what we are doing now is that we're actually creating this first image that you see here, the hello, welcome. This is the first structure that we're doing, and basically we're just going to replicate the code for all other sections here, so that we can be able to also style them and everything. So for the time being, we're just going to load in the text first, and then we'll load in the images on the CSS side. So let's get to that one. Change. So if I'm losing anyone, if I'm just put it in the chat, and then we'll get to it. So okay, let's get to the coding. So now what we need to do is actually we're going to create a div with a class that actually this class will actually contain the email will actually contain image number 1. And then within, because what we want is, if you look at the parallax, is that the elements are moving on top of that image. So we're just going to have the text. Can somebody mute their mic, please? So what we're going to do now, it's actually going to get the text on top of, we're just going to name it pretext or whatever. You can name it anything, mostly something that is descriptive according to your like, and then we're going to close that div as well, because this div actually will control our text. So now what we need to do is we need to actually do a span. Now what a span will allow us to do in some cases is that it allow us to actually control the specific text on its own without affecting the whole text that falls under the without affecting the whole text that falls under the same class as p-text. So now that we have added, now let's add some text. Now what the text we know. So now since we added that, you see going to add the hello world or hello world or hello or welcome to Parallax. Scroll, so welcome to Parallax scroll. That this is actually be that welcome text that we have created, that welcome text that we have, that this is going to be the first image. And what we'll do is we'll do the coding and then we'll run everything. So now we're getting into this piece of code here, this section is actually our home welcome section. And then we have multiple sections under that. So we just have to, this is why we're having one body slide. So we're just going to have sections under this one. So now what we'll do is actually create the first section. So here we're going to have the first section. So we're just going to use the HTML text section, and then we're going to pass it a class. We're going to pass it a class section and a different class. So we're going to pass it two name classes, a section and a section light. So we're going to use both of them differently because they're going to work differently, and they will allow us to actually do our styling. So the section light will allow us to control the background color and the color of everything. Will just allow us to control a little bit of more of the text. So that's what we're going to be using it for. So let's get started. So okay, sorry about that. So we have a section, and then we're going to create another section light, or this can be anything depending on your description of whatever site you build it. And this section will actually allow us to control some few things in there. And then in this section now, we're just going to pass a h2 header, which we're going to call section 1. And then within this section, we're going to pass a paragraph tag. And within this paragraph tag, we're just going to pass random text, but it can be anything or descriptive, or maybe you have like cards, that you're working with, So I'm just going to copy this off somewhere, and then we're just going to place the classic lorem ipsum. So I used to know what this means way back when I got into HTML, but basically it's just in Italian, or if it's not Italian, it's Latin, for that is basically used to replace text on most websites. So we're just going to be like using this. And after we pass that HTML tag, we close it there. And this is basically our first section. So now I'm going to run this in live. So now I'm going to switch to the browser so that you can see where we are in terms of like the build and everything. And the sections that we have added is pretty bland. We haven't added anything in terms of the styling, the decorating. So right now we're just laying down the foundation of everything to make sure that everything works the best way. So as you can see so this is what we have. We have that first welcome screen, hello, welcome to Parallax Scroll, and we have the section 1. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do copy and paste on this section, because it's basically going to be the same with the other section, and I'm just going to change the section from one from 1 to 2 to 3. It depends on how many sections you're working on. So yeah, let me just switch to VS Code. So we have that. So, okay, let me just close this since we're not using it, so that everybody can see that. And so what I'm gonna do now is basically I'm just going to replicate, the section over and over again, and then I'm gonna change it. So what we need to add now is there also needs to be a background picture that we need to add, that will just allow it to move on top, because this section 1 here will actually move on top of the picture that we have on our welcome screen. And then what we need to do is also add another picture under this one, that will actually also be our background picture. We're just going to call it you're going to declare a div and a class, and in that class we're actually going to call it let's just call it something that the script that we can use section 1 image, and just also again, this also depends on your preference. So and then after in the section 1, we're also going to have same type of thing we have on this one, this one here. You could do for time's sake, we could do a copy and paste, and then we could just change the div to section 1, section 1 image. You could do that, and then we could also change the text. We're going to change the text to actually image 2 text. So basically what happens is that the reason why we have this as image 2 text is that this is the second image that we are adding, because we already have an image at the top of the section, and this is the image under that. And to save a little bit of time, since the sections are basically going to be the same, we're going to just copy from section 1, and then we're just going to paste under section 2. So we're just going to paste under section 2. That's going to have this is going to represent our image 2, and this is going to represent our section 2. So basically what we need to change here is we need to change this to section 2, and then what we need to copy again, we can copy that same section image that we have earlier into another one, and then we can just rename the class to section 2 img image, and then image 3 text. Now the reason you might have this images name like image 3 text, image 3 that is that when you run it on the, so that you can keep track of where your images are supposed to be and stuff, in the browser. I'll just show you after we finish adding those sections. So we're just going to add a note here, something that you can see that I'm even emphasizing on changing is also the section, the picture, the class sections, the classes. That's one thing that you need to pay attention on. So another thing that we also need to change is we also need to change this one. We can do dark. So another thing that it needs to change, with okay, no, the wrong one there. So we need to change this one on section 2 here to dark. So it needs to change. As even if you copy and paste, you need to pay attention to those classes, because when you're going to style them, you're going to find like you're going to have different elements that interact in different ways. So you just have to make sure that you don't want to have controlling a section at the top and also controlling a section at the bottom, because they might be doing different things at the same at that point in time. So we're just going to copy that section again and check that, and then we're just gonna copy again this again, and then we just going to rename it to a different type of thing. We could do it light again, because we just need to just differentiate it from different, because we're just moving from one section into that. And also it's another art design element that we put in, is that you don't want to use too many different colors. You just want to stick with same elements. So we're just gonna have those, and we're just going to have like 3 sections, and then we're just going to have 3 sections. So what we could do is, usually on websites, you have footers and stuff, but since this one is not quite complex, we could just end it, with the same text that we have, with the same picture that we have at the bottom. So we're going to put this picture here, and we're going to rename this section to like picture section 3 image, and then here we could just name it to end image and image img, and then with the text, and then with the text naming it the end, and then thank you for scrolling. Okay, now that's saved. So let's just head over to our browser and see how that is. So let's go to our browser and check on everything. So okay, so as you can see, we have all those different sections, and you see we have image 2, we have image 3 text here, we have the thank you for scrolling. So basically in between these sections, we're going to have background images that we are going to use as a reference, so that when we are working with our CSS. So that's it for our HTML. No, so now that our HTML is done, now let's head over to our CSS, and let's work through it. So the one thing that we need to pay attention in CSS is its classes. Those classes that we are creating with different sections, we need to pay attention to that. But right now we just need to lay out our canvas, our HTML canvas. So our body tag, we're going to work with that, and then we're going to work with the whole HTML tag. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to set the height of everything to 100%, and we're going to do margins as 0 just to control that. So basically margins are your left top and everything, just to make sure that everything is up to the edges and there's no white space in there. And then we're going to do the font size to 16 pixels. Now this also depends on what we're also working on, and then the font family and everything depends also on you. We're just going to use the Lato font family, and then we're just going to pass sans so, and also font weight. So font weight basically is boldness. So it's basically boldness, as close that as I can come, and then we're going to do not that. We're going to do our line height is 1.8 em. So, and then we set our colors. So our color basically it's the background color, since we are actually adding it to our HTML. So going to do some gray there, and then
sorry to disturb, sir. I guess your screen is froze actually. So.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Is that good now?
Yeah. Now.
Okay. So we just set the HTML height to 100%. We have. Sorry, I can hear you.
There is some, there is some audio issues from your side. We cannot hear you properly.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, now it's good.
Now it's good. Okay. So basically we have our height to 100%. Sorry? We have the margin, we have the font size set to 16. This can change, and then we have the font family. This can also change according to your preference. We have the font weight. Basically, this is like the weight and the line height distance between two sections. And then we also have the color. The color, this basically will affect the background since it's under the HTML tag. So the first thing that we need to do is actually get our images in there. So I'm just going to split this so that so that you are able to follow. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to have the CSS taking more space. So what we need to do is, first of all, since I said now we are actually putting in the pictures. So now we have the classes. So we have our MG1 here, and we're going to get that. And in the we are going to have the background. We're going to set it as a background image. And we are going to get the URL of the images. So now, what I would suggest mostly is, since you're working with HTML, that you name your images according to things that are easy to type in, but with something that I've seen with VS Code is that once you start accessing the files and everything, images are probably just gonna be there for you, so you don't have to worry about that they will just come out fluently for you. So copy that, and so right now I'm just actually doing just copying the images into the file structure. So I forgot to do that in the beginning. Parallax demo, and then so we have our images added. Let me just pull that out. So as you can see, we have our images added here. So basically what we're going to have is that we're going to access images, right? Also make sure that the file naming is also correct. And then what I would like to do is that then, I'd say /forward, it gives me all the images in that. So I just say image1, and then I have that added in. I'm just going to take this away. So I'm just going to close that file explorer, and then we're going to have set the minimum height of the image. So basically the minimum height is basically the size of the image that you want it to start. So we're just going to set it to 100%. And since we're doing this 100% is because this image is our banner image. It's our front facing image. This is the first image that you see, so we want to set it to full screen height. And then basically you could do a copy and paste, but to do that, remember, you have to change the class's name. So as you can see, I used the different name classes. So we have image one here, and then now, because I changed the image a little bit, I changed the image naming a little bit, we have a section one image, section one img. That's the class tag that I have now. And also remember, the image has to match with the CSS way, so that you make sure that it actually gets in there. Otherwise, you're going to be debugging something that already you have done. So we're going to do that as image 2. We're just going to close it, and then we're going to set a minimum height. Okay, we're just going to set a minimum height. Let's just say 200 px, 500 px. I mean, sorry. And then we just, since these ones have quite almost the same naming, we're just going to do that. And I'm going to redo this, and then image 3, and then the minimum height. Okay, I need to. Okay, that. So sometimes you could do. Recently, what I realized with CSS, you could do. You could do the. So I forgot to add the quotation marks, but sometimes it does read it without the quotation marks. Sometimes can't say all the time, but just something to pay attention to when you're working with images from CSS. And we also going to have it as a minimum height of 500 px, and we're going to go down to basically dealing with the images. So we're just going to deal with the images and basically do the positions relative. Since this images almost exhibit the same properties, we're just going to get them all in one. So we're going to set the section, also the section image. We're going to do the section one. Okay, I see I made a mistake there. So section. Okay. This is actually section 2 image. Section 1, section 2 image. So we're going to have section 2 image img, and then even here to change that, section 2 image img. So since they have exhibit the same properties like a position, we want the position to be relative, and we want the position to be relative. We want the opacity to be 0. The opacity also depends on you. So it's just how do you want to cover it? Do you want it to be in your face, or do you want to just cover that layer of make it look as if it's fading in colors, it's fading into the picture? It just depends on your design element, on what you're working for. But here we're just going to set it on 0.7, and we're going to position the background image to center, because basically all these pictures are background images. And then we want the background size to be cover, and also so that there's something that if actually still happens, you want to set the background repeat to no repeat, so that it doesn't repeat all over, or you don't have multiple images repeating, you just have one picture. So you're just going to set that to no repeat. and you're going to set to now. This is quite crucial for the parallax. You need to set the background attachment. So in a way, what this means is that you're also attaching the background. You're attaching that background to you're attaching the background picture. You're attaching the image to the background. So that it sticks as you scroll. So that it looks like it's in the background even when you scroll. So those are like the elements that we're going to add after that. So it's just a matter of moving this section up here, executables. So let me just check everything there. I didn't miss anything so far, so good. So now let's head over. Let's see our progress. Let's head over to our browser and see the progress that we've made and see if we've made any mistakes that we need to fix now. So let's do that. Okay, where is it? Demo. So okay, you see now we have there's that text there. Now it's gray. We'll get to it. Now you have the picture added. We also have this picture added. Now notice one element is that this whole picture is not showing, right? It's like only 500, like it's like half of it is only showing. Now we will get to that because what we did is we haven't it, but we're going to actually extract the whole picture in the background so that it moves with the sections. So now we actually need, like, there's one last picture that we did not add, but we could also do it. So the last picture that we're going to do is we need to okay, so there's one last picture that we did because what we did, we repeated it, so we just need to okay, let me just switch back. Okay, let's go. So if you notice that the last ending picture is not there, so that's mainly because of okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let's just okay, here is it. Okay. So I hope you are okay. You can see. So now what we have is we have this last picture here. So we have this last picture here. We just need to rename it the same as picture image 1 and save that. So you automatically take the picture at the top to the bottom. So now what we need to work on. So now the styling is going well, it's coming together, the pictures are added. Now we just need to do the minor fixes in the background and those. So now we're doing the sections. Now we're going deep into the section. So now we're going to target the section class that we added here. And so what basically that means, everything within the section is going to align. So we want everything in that section to be aligned to the center. And we're just going to add the padding. The padding of the text and everything, that section, so 50px and 80px left right. So now remember we also have like the section light and the section dark. So we're just going to deal with them. The section light, which is this one. Okay. which is this one. The section light, which is this one, our first section. So we just need to deal with it. We just need to like also style it as well. So with the section light, we're going to set our background color to, you can set it to whatever color that goes with you. We're just gonna set it to white now. So the reason why we're setting it to white is because the whole text within each section is in gray. You know, you can change the color as well. You can change the color in the section to whatever color you want to change it to, and then the section with the dark, which is one of our section, which is this one, which is our section 2. We're just going to set the background color as well. We're just going to set the background color to, you know, whatever color that we want, that you want to do. In this case, I'm just going to send it to a little bit of a darker gray towards a black, you know, to also keep up with the theme of, you know, to keep up with the theme of darkness, you know, since we named it dark. And we're just gonna set the text to something much more visible. So, you know, if you know, it's quite detailed even on YouTube, even on Google, the color codes and everything, whatever color codes you want to work with, you know, you can get them over there. Now, before we head out to the browser, we can finish off. So we've added the background, we've added the colors of the background, we've aligned the text to the center in each section. So now we have paragraphs in these sections, so we need to style those paragraphs. So we're just going to so remember the classes that we gave to our paragraphs is p text. We're going to have p text. We're going to position it. We're going to do the position as absolute. And then we're going to have it top 50%. So we're just moving it a little bit down 50% in that section. And then we're just going to set the width of the text to 100%. And we're going to text align it. We're going to text align it to center. And we're also going to color it to black, you know, so that it's visible, because we have such bright white color in the background. And we're going to set the font size to 27, so that it's a little bit more visible. And then we're going to set the letter spacing about 8 px. You know, that also depends. It can also vary in terms of like screen. And if you want, this is just some of the things that you can do. You can add text or text overflow, shadow, all those things, you know, to enhance your design. Also, you can add like text transform, where you can actually set everything to uppercase or lowercase depending on what you want to do. And then we're just going to set like a, you know, a border around it. So we're just going to do a little bit of more text heavy design. So basically this text border is actually this one, which is our very first image text. This is the one that goes with the images. This is the text that goes with the images. You know, we're just going to add a border around it. You know, we're going to add like a background color to it, you know, some variation of black, you know. And then we're going to add the text color to also white, so that it also pops off, because of we have a black background. And we're also going to add some padding to it, you know. So all these text elements that I'm adding here, they go, you know, according to your specifications and stuff. You know, you can do all these things. So now we're going to add, the text dot border, and then dot trans. We're just gonna add the background color to transparent. It just depends on you as well. So okay, so that's our file. That's our CSS for now that we've all set it up and gone. Everything is set up the way we want to set it up, and we want to make sure that everything is as good as it can be. So next thing, so what we're going to do is let us run this and see where we are in our progress. So okay, let's switch to that. Okay, so you can see here at the top we still have our text there. We need to move it here. I don't know why. Okay, we'll check. You see, so we have all these things that we should be in the middle, but they're not yet in the middle. I think we need to do some debugging over there. So I'm just gonna go into the class and just check everything just to make sure that everything is in order. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Okay, absolute, that's the error that we have. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have that problem. So one more thing that we need to also do is make sure that everything is well within its rights. Span control and everything. So I'm just doing a little bit of debugging. As you can see, there's the end, and thank you for scrolling here, which is overlapping with this one. So we just need to make sure that it's not happening that way. So what we need to do is, okay, this is the problem. Okay, we need to take care of that and that. So okay. Okay, so okay, I'm facing a little bit. Just okay, okay. So okay, something. Okay. Okay, so we need to fix that. I think it's because of the copy and paste that I did. So we need to just fix that. Let's go back to our code here and let's get that fixed. So okay, so we need to get the bottom part fixed so that it doesn't overlap with the top picture. And okay, so okay, we need to add a little bit of CSS magic to this one to make sure that it does. Let's double check our CSS. Okay, let's see that. So, okay, I'm trying to, okay. Okay, so everything seems to be in order. I'm just not sure why I'm experiencing. Okay, let's remove this. Oh, okay, I see where the problem is. Okay, I see where the problem is. Okay, so the problem is here with our p text. Position absolute 50%, width is 100%, text alignment center, text transform, p.text. So, okay. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So we have our section 2, we have that. Let me do a little bit of debugging on my side. Okay, so this is the end of this is the end of our HTML file. Okay, but the image is not added. Okay, what's going on here? Let's check all classes sections. Okay, let's check all classes and sections and see.
Manimeter, can you just please run your browser again?
Yeah, let me just do that because I'm trying to find out, because everything is in order here. I'm trying to find out where the CSS went wrong, because the positioning element is kind of screwing with the whole thing. Okay, so we are in the browser now. Image, everything looks great. Everything looks great. Nothing looks out of place. Everything. So we're having that case of the text and everything being out of place. So we just need to make sure that everything is well in place. So I'm just double checking my classes, my name, classes, and everything. Let me just going to have to change this to, let me just change them to image 2, and let me just do a much more simpler image naming. img2 and image 3. And two. Okay, so okay, the images are not appearing. So okay, check classes. Okay, oh, I didn't save that, so we need to save that. So images are there, everything is there.
Yeah, no. Manimeter, looking at time, I think we can just it's fine, because
Yeah,
anyway, what they will do is that obviously we're still gonna send the project files. So I think from here it's cool. I think Rishabh can then just take it away from here, and then just we can just obviously upload this and deploy this. But yeah, thank you so much. I mean, the site looks literally like 98.
yeah, it looks 90, like it looks 90% finished, you know.
Koketsu, we
We
cannot
might
hear
just have
you.
to fix there and then.
We having problem
Oh,
hearing you. Oh, okay.
All right. So in that case, should I go ahead and deploy the website?
Okay. Yeah. I think you should go because I think they will get the. Yeah, I think let me just stop sharing so that you can go ahead and deploy. And while doing that, I'll be debugging on my end as well.
All right. Cool. Sure.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys. Enough coding till now. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's get into deploying our website because, of course, if you are just not going to deploy it, you will not going to tell about your friends, about your family, what you are building. It's not going to be much impactful. So let me just quickly share my screen, and all you can see over here right now is my VS Code setup. So as usual, let me just zoom it a little bit so that, because I don't wanna I just wanna make sure that everything's you know good over here. Okay, I think this will be pretty good enough. All right. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'll recommend you to do it. Make sure that you have your Azure account ready. You can just go to the Azure portal. It's just basically Google search Azure and just go on to the first result, create a account. And if you're a student, well, if you're a student, we have a great news for you. You can get $100 Azure credits for free right now. And how that's possible, let me just quickly open a browser and quickly show just show you how you can do it. All you have to do is just type in the Google search is Azure student credits. Just type this in your search box, hit enter, and just a second. All right, so the first link you just have to go to the first link, and there we go. You can just click on this button over here, start free, and you will be able to get the $100 Azure credits as long as you are a student, completely for free, and then you can use it to build whatever you want. You can use it to do all sorts of things. Azure is a super powerful platform, and it's just you need to learn what how it works so that you can and the possibilities are limitless. So yeah, do go ahead, do give it a try, and let us know what did you build. Okay, for now let's continue with the deployment part because that's what we are here for. Okay, so coming to over here, let me close the other tabs. As you can see, I have the documentation of the deployment ready with me. And there is one caveat that always happens is that sometimes few things changes. Like we are going to use the extension module over here in our VS Code, and how to get it set up. I'll explain you in a minute. But basically how it works is that things keep changing, so it's always good to follow a documentation or a kind of framework you can refer to when you get stuck. Okay, so this is what we are going this is what we are going to follow over here. Just like if you have attended my previous sessions, you know that I'm a big fan of documentation. I always prefer going with the documentation even if I know how things work, because I don't want to miss on anything, because these things keep changing. As technology keep moving forward, these things keeps changing, so you just have to be a little bit over to the edge and follow documentation. Okay, so I have this documentation over, and again, do not worry, I'm going to share this with you in the chat box, and I will also share this email this to you, so do not worry. Okay, so basically we have all the things over here. You can just go through it but we don't have to, because I'm just going to give you a live demonstration of everything. All right, so the first thing you need to do is just go to the extension panel. And yes, this is my VS Code setup. And as you can see, I have all the project files ready. I have the index file, they have HTML file, the pages, and the CSS files. All right, so I got everything with me ready. So yes, so then now what I want you to do is just go to this extension panel, search for Azure Static Webs. Let me do this for you. Search for Azure Static Web App. Where you may have to scroll, you may have to scroll a little to find the exactly what we are looking for. And let's just give it some time. And here we go. Look, Azure Static Web Apps. This is what we are looking for right now. And all you have to do is just go ahead and install it over here. I have, as you can see, I've already installed it, so I'm not getting the install option. But all you have to do is just go to this Azure Static Web Apps, and you have to install it over here. As you can see, this is by Microsoft. So this is the official extension. So don't worry about losing anything over here. So once you have installed it properly, you just have to make sure to open the Azure panel, which will appear somewhere over here. In my case, it's not appearing because, as you can see, I have a lot of options over here, and this is nothing. If I right click over here, you can see I have even more. So yeah, that's cool. I actually hidden some of them. So yeah, so don't worry about this. You just have to find this Azure looking icon in your side panel and just have to open it. In my case, I have two extensions installed, which one of them is the app service. Another one is the one which we just installed, which is static web apps. App service is basically for more advanced stuff, like basically if you're deploying a Dynamics website. In our case, it's going to be a very much easier because our website doesn't contain any kind of dynamic content or any kind of dynamic behavior. So all we have is just a static website, good to go. And hence we're going to make use of static web apps. Cool, right? I know. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, make sure that you are signed in with your Azure account, which you just created. And one thing to confirm that you are signed in is just, you can look at over here, is that it clearly shows that I'm signed in with Azure with my ambassador account. So it whatever account you have created, whatever email it is, so it should display over here. Next thing I'm going to do is just, in the static web apps panel over here, on the static web apps header, which I hope it's visible to you. I'm just going to click on this plus icon and make sure you are in your root project folder. Make sure you are in the root project folder. So coming back over here, I just want you to click on this plus icon. So let me do this. And it says that we need a GitHub repository to proceed. Create a local GitHub repository and GitHub remote to create a static web app. Okay, that makes sense. So let me cancel it from over here. So what is basically asking us for that our project needs to have some GitHub, it needs to be set up with GitHub before we can deploy it on the Azure. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, put it up on the GitHub. One easy way to do this is just, go to this source control option over here, which is like by default. Even if you are if you have a fresh setup of VS Code, it should be there by default. Okay. So as soon as you are here, all you have to do is just, click on this button which says publish to GitHub. So let me do it. And here you get a couple of options, like you can create a private repository, you can create a public repository. Let me create a private one for now, but don't worry, all this code will be available to you through a GitHub repository. As soon as we are done with this event, I'll create a separate public repository for you so that you have all the workshop resources over there. So don't worry about losing anything as of now. So let me just give it a cool name. Let's call it let's just call it super duper website deployment. Feel free to call it anything you like, whatever you prefer. And now let me click over here, publish to GitHub private repository. Okay, so let me do it. This. And now you just have to select the files you want to deploy. So basically it's going to be all the files you have. Just, if this is unchecked, just check this over here and we'll select all the files for you. Now let's go ahead and look, it's done. Now another way to check that if everything is up and running, if everything is pushed on GitHub or not, you can just either browse the GitHub repository. It should be there, like over here it asking me to open GitHub. Let me do that quickly. And yeah, have a look. We have all those files we need. Okay, so we are good to go. Finally, we are pretty much good. And over here it also says that I've created the first commit. It's amazing. Now again, let's try clicking on this plus icon and hopefully it should work now. And look, it is cool. Okay, so it is okay, so it is going to take you to walk through all the steps in deploying your website. And don't worry, it's super easy. It's not going to be tedious. It's not going to be completely overwhelming. Even if you're a first time user, you will easily get hang of it. Okay, so the first thing you need to enter is the name of your static web app. So again, feel free to use any name, but make sure it's unique. Again, in my case, I'm going to use the super duper website deployment. Sounds cool, right? Now let's press enter. And over here, it is asking what kind of framework we are using in our project. Currently, we are not using any particular framework. So what we are going to do, we are just having some basic HTML and CSS, and we are not following any particular framework as of now. So all we have to do is just, click on this custom. And now we just have to, basically give where our project files are located. So by default, it is going to be this particular, this slash, you can say, this /. And once again, let's press enter. And this is the final step. And make sure you don't, this is like something people sometimes make mistakes with. Over here, it is asking where your build file is located. So what is the basic of project files, and what's the difference between the project files and the actual build files? Is that the project files are basically meant for you as a developer to work on your project. Okay, they are not optimized for the end user to see or basically have fun with a website. This is what usually happens when you are considering some big frameworks like React or something. They have those developer optimized versions separately and production based versions separately. Okay, so this is exactly same thing. It is just asking us where is your build version located. Again, since we are not using any particular super duper fancy framework, we are just going to we are just making use of a basic what you can say basic structure, HTML and stuff. So over here we are just going to put this, that is a period, and /. Okay, a period and /. That's it. Okay, in case again this is like subjective. If it basically it's going to change with the websites we're going to create. For now, as you saw, we don't have any special requirements in our project, so we are just going to use this, a period and /. So let me just press enter once again. And now, as you can see it over here, it will just show you all the progress which is happening. And look, it's saying that our website is basically it's deploying. Okay, so it has created a new our static web app, and now it's in the deploying process. So cool. Let's just and in case if you can see over here, let me stretch it a little bit. In the production, it is saying that it's waiting for deployment. That means it's particularly ready, but it's not deployed yet. And but how do we know that? Okay, but how can I trust this? Okay, Over here under static web apps, I have two projects right now. This one, as you can see, this was a demo which I created this morning just to make sure everything works the way it should. And this one something we just created right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to right click on this, and I'm going to click on this option which says browse site. So let's click on this, and it should open our deployment. Okay, let's just give it a second. And look, your Azure static web app is live and waiting for the content. Cool. That means our website, our web app is set up. It's all we have to do is just one final step of deploying it. So, and how we are going to do it? Deployment can be triggered by one simple git push. And if when we come back over here, as you can see, since most of the files will already be backed up, you just have to make another push over here. And currently, as you can see, I have a couple of folders which are auto generated for me, and I don't want them to appear in my GitHub repository. So what I'm going to do, let's do one thing. Let's just ignore this or ignore all this for now, because I don't want to make it complicated. All you have to do is just come back to the source control panel, and now let's just enter basically a commit message. Let's call it add settings.json. Sounds cool. Okay, now just commit it. Cool. And once we have committed it, we just have to push it. So you can push it from this easy way. Let's just click on this option. This will push all the changes, push or pull all the changes you have to the report. And now we're good to go. Let's just go back to our deployment. Oh yeah, let me refresh it now. And there we go. Look, it's good, it's ready, it's here, it looks beautiful. And yeah, you can just share this link which we have over here, and just share this link with your friends, your family, so they can just go ahead and basically have fun, enjoy and be proud of yourself that you created this amazing website. And not only you created it, but you also deployed it. So yeah, kudos to you. Really amazing, great job everyone. So yeah, I
Yeah,
will
man.
share.
This is so awesome. Geez, I mean, looking at how you actually deployed it on Azure, I thought it was very complicated, but it's so easy. So thank you so much, Rishabh, for actually showing us how to actually deploy a
My pleasure. uh, Kuketsu, I guess there is some audio issues from your side. Kuketsu, there is some audio issues from your side. I guess Kuketsu is just having some audio issues. So meanwhile, since we have deployed our website, I just wanted to do one last thing. I just wanted to fill up a quick feedback form before we end this workshop, because oh come on, you need those certificates basically, so that we can send you those certificates. So I'm not sure. I just posted the link in the chat box also. So in case if it's visible, then it's good. In case if it's not, let me just put it over here in the notepad, and you can hopefully just copy this and paste it in your browser.
Yeah.
So if you're still here, feel free to just go ahead, fill this feedback form, and we will be sending all the resources, all this entire session recording to you, along with the project files, along with the all the certificates and everything. So just go ahead and please fill this feedback form. It means a lot to us.
Oh yeah, and like I said, pay attention to that naming and on the CSS side, because the error was caused by that naming issue. So you know,
Yes, no worries. So, folks, if you are still here, please fill this feedback form, and once you're done with it, yeah, we are good to go. Thank you so much for joining, and feel free to leave because we are pretty much done for today. And we will share the recording to you. So, in case if you missed anything, by chance, don't worry, you are not losing on anything. We'll send you, we will basically share this with you. So, yeah.